Let's take an in-depth look at the Nixx Technology Foam Cannon Pro S2.0. This is my choice for mid-range foam cannons coming in at a price of around $40 before discounts on Amazon. On paper, the features of this look really good, and we're going to test everything out. So in terms of spare parts, it looks like you get a nice amount of items here in this package. You're getting a replacement foam generator. You get a 1/4-inch stainless steel quick connect with O-ring. Therefore, you do not need to have any Teflon tape on the threads while installing. Pre-installed, you get a 1.15 millimeter orifice. And additionally, you get the 1.25 millimeter orifice for your higher GPM pressure washers. We'll install this one. You get 2 rubberized check valves for one-way airflow, and you get a replacement O-ring gasket for the lid. Taking a look first at the bottle, this is an HDPE bottle, so it should be durable plastic. Measurements include milliliters in 50 milliliter increments up to 1,000 and ounces up to 32 ounces. You got a transparent sight glass there to see the liquid level in the bottle. You have a wide mouth bottle for easy filling and a wide base for greater stability. Anti-slip bottle surface treatment. Now you'll notice right away this entire package is reminiscent of the MTM PF22, both the bottle as well as the body. And we know that that's in the higher price range of over $100. So we'll see how this compares. Silicone tube with weighted and filtered bowl. This is a must-have feature to get all remaining liquid out of the bottle. With the body unit, it's quite substantial. It's a little bit heavy. You get nickel-plated brass components. You have a adjustable knob to control the foam concentration levels. Always go clockwise for maximum foam production. Oh, very nice. I don't know if you could hear that. But you're getting detents with each incremental turn. That's going to prevent turning once you get to a level that you're satisfied with. So that's a very nice feature, not found often in any cannon. You have a dual adjustable nozzle. You could control the fan angle with the back portion. Oh, and that's detented as well. So that's very nice. And that looks to be a 360 type, where you can just go around infinitely, either horizontal or vertical. And that's going to pretty much stay put. And then with your front part of the nozzle, that will control your fan width, and that has a nice level of tension to it. It doesn't seem like that will get knocked out of place during use, so that's typically 0 to 60 degree fan spray width. You have your vents on the top for one-way airflow, and then you have a 1/4 turn quick connect bottle lid with O-ring inside. So we should be able to put that on. 1/4 turn, and it's on there. Okay, unfortunately what I'm noticing right away is I would prefer to have it so that when the nozzle is facing this way, the label would ideally be here rather than offset, but that's okay. I'm noticing the top heaviness is making it wanting to tip, so you should be careful with that. The lid itself snaps on towards the end. So think it could be a drop tighter. What I'd like to do is put the spare O-ring in there and see if that seals that up any tighter. It appears to make it a little more snug. I prefer it like that. Let's go with that. When it comes to the orifice, what we're going to do is we're going to swap that out. So you take your flathead screwdriver, we'll go with the 1.25 size on the right. Very hard to see the difference there. I'll take some shots for the website. But since we're using a higher GPM pressure washer, such as the Active 2.0, it would be best to put in the 1.25. And then you have the stainless steel quick connect with O-ring. As for the silicone tube, let's check the length. Looks like we may need to, no, that's probably, could cut it maybe 1/8 of an inch, but since it's going to push on here, yeah, that should be about appropriate length. And there it is. First thing I'm going to do here is put the 1.15 nozzle, orifice nozzle, back into the foam cannon and test the pressure that we run at using that orifice size, and then we'll do the same with the 1.25. Active 2.0 pressure washer, 1.15 nozzle size. You can see we're running at about 1,025. I would have thought it would have been higher than that, but let's put in the 1.25 and see what we get. Okay, here's the same setup with the 1.25 orifice nozzle. Okay, you can see this time we're running at about an even 1,000 psi. So about 25 psi less by going to the slightly larger nozzle. Next up, we're going to do a native dilution ratio calculation on this foam cannon. This way we can calculate the most appropriate amount of soap to put in the foam cannon so that it's comparable with all of our other foam cannon tests. So the first thing we want to do is take 500 milliliters of water and load the foam cannon and see how accurate the markings are on the bottle, with our goal of getting to 1,000 milliliters. So the initial load is right about the 16 ounces, so just under 500. So not 100% accurate. Let's put in the next 500 and see how close we get to 1,000. Here's our next 500. Alright, it looks like with that, a little difficult to see, but we're right over there. Just slightly above 1,000, maybe 1/8 of an inch above 1,000, so not bad overall. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 1,000 milliliter load, spray that into a 5-gallon bucket with a known weight of 1 kilogram, and calculate the output. Okay, let's see how much output we achieved. (11.1 kilograms) less the 1 kilogram bucket weight gives us 10,100 milliliters of output. Okay, so the numbers on the tests with the 1.25 millimeter orifice were some of the lowest that we've seen on any of the foam cannon tests that we've done to date. So 1000 psi, which is about 50 psi lower than typical. A minute and 25 seconds of runtime, which is the lowest that I've seen thus far, and 10,100 milliliters of output. Again, that's the lowest that I've ever achieved with a 1.25 millimeter orifice. So therefore, I have put in the 1.15. We'll just run some numbers on this, and if the foam output that we get is not adequate with the 1.25, perhaps we can run a 1.15, even though we're using a high GPM active 2.0, since the pressure numbers are not out of range. So you can see here, we have the bottle filled up again to about 1/8 of an inch over the 1000 milliliter marking, and we'll output this 1.15 orifice into the 5-gallon bucket and measure the output. Okay, this will be the output with the 1.15 millimeter orifice. Okay, so we had about the same amount of runtime, 1 minute and 25 seconds. Let's see what the output was with the 1.15 nozzle. 10 kilograms less the 1 kilogram bucket weight, or 9,000 milliliters of output. Alright, so we finished running our native dilution ratio tests. We took those numbers and we keyed it into our spreadsheet. Again, this spreadsheet can be found at www.topforeigners.com, as we are creating a dedicated web page for the Nixx technology foam cannon with further details, tech specs, benefits, review results, and long-term review updates. So taking a look at the spreadsheet, the goal here is to get all of our foam cannons to be on a consistent test basis. I like to use 0.5% of target PIR, or panel impact ratio. That said, if we were doing a full wash, we would load the cannon with 1,000 milliliters, and this spreadsheet would calculate exactly how much soap to use. In this case, we're just going to be testing the foam cannon on one side of the vehicle only, so I'll load the cannon with a total volume of 500 milliliters. With the 1.15 orifice, the cannon is going to require 23 milliliters of soap, and for the 1.25 nozzle, it'll require 25 milliliters of soap, the rest being water, to get us to the 500 milliliter level. Now, the difference between 23 and 25 is going to be tough to measure out, so we're going to just go with as close to 24 milliliters as possible and use that same dilution for both of our tests. So now you can see with these two orifice tests that we did, we were running at 1,025 with the 1.15 nozzle and 1,000 with the 1.25 nozzle. Now, both of those pressure outputs is lower than we've seen with other foam cannons. You can see here that the MJJC SV 3.0 runs as high as 1,100 pressure. So therefore, tell me if I'm wrong down in the comments below, but I believe that with the Active 2.0 we can run either the 1.15 or the 1.25 orifice nozzle with no issues. I do not have an amp meter to test the electrical draw with either one of these nozzles, but therefore I'm using PSI as a proxy, and since we're below other foam cannons that we typically use, I believe we can run either nozzle. So we'll pick which one we want to go with on a long-term basis based on the foam output. So I have my 500 milliliters of water here. We will put that into the cannon along with our 24 milliliters of soap. This is Mr. Pink Chemical Guys, which we've been using for most of our tests. Let's try to wash out some of this and get all of the soap into the bottle. We only want to load to a total of 500, so we'll put in 475 of the water. Okay, So we're at about just below the 500 there. Let's take it out to the vehicle and see how it looks. Nixx Technology Pro S 2.0 1.15 Orifice Chemical Guys Mr. Pink Soap. Let's take it in for a closer look. I think that worked really, really well. Nice thick foam. Very slowly drawing down off the body. You're not seeing much coming off at the current time at all. That's how thick it is. That's how sticky it is. Getting some dimpling up here. We did 2 full passes. This is really nice. Look at that thickness. That's really good dwell, really good stick to the body foam there. You can see it's starting to come down now. Very nice. 1.15 nozzle. Let's give this a quick rinse and a dry and get ready for our next test with the 1.25. For the sake of testing, let's change out this nozzle one more time back to the 1.25. There we go. Let's try it out. Nixx Pro S 2.0 with the 1.25 millimeter Orifice nozzle. Again, excellent levels of foam production. Let's take it in for a closer look. What do you think about that? Seems to be drawing down off the body slightly faster, although it seems to be about nearly the same thickness. Slightly wetter, slightly faster drawdown, solid coverage. Looks like we're getting good dwell time. Which orifice size do you think we should leave in there with the Active 2.0? I think it can go either way. let's get this rinsed off. It's been about 2 minutes and you can still see the foam on there. And then we'll go into final thoughts. Final thoughts on the Nixx Technology Pro S2.0 foam cannon testing. So on paper, this looked like it was going to be a really good selection for a mid-level foam cannon priced between $33 to $40 based on whether or not you get a sale at Amazon. And it lived up to the expectation. It lived up to its features and benefits. Everything worked out good. We tested it both with the 1.15 as well as the 1.25 nozzle. Both worked excellent. I did switch back to the 1.15 since we're staying in a 1025 psi range, which is not going to be a problem for the active 2.0 pressure washer. We have the nickel plated brass, which should give nice longevity and reduced amount of corrosion. I really liked this feature that no other foam cannon that I have tested before had, which is all of these adjustment points have detents built in so that you get a click with each amount of turn, which should eliminate any movement during usage. Okay, you have it on this as well. And this spray pattern is nice and tight. The lid originally was not so tight, but we put on a second gasket there, locking it in place. The bottle does have the anti-slip technology built in here. That worked well. It fits good in the hand. The label wasn't 100% lined up like we would like, but that's okay. Silicone tube with weighted ball. That would be a feature that I would upgrade, and I'm glad that at this price range I do not have to spend the additional money as it comes standard with that feature. Overall, I think this is a great choice in the mid-range foam cannon. It seems like it produces excellent foam. So check out our dedicated webpage at top4runners.com. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks again for watching.